All of that, but let's begin with Alex Hogan. She is live at the border in Mission, Texas. Hi, Alex.
Hi, Dana. Good morning, Bill. Just over this levee, there is a processing site where many of these migrants who surrender to Border Patrol are processed, and we've seen some of them already here this morning, all of them sharing harrowing stories of what they've experienced in this journey, just like that little boy. Again, let's take a listen.
No sabes dónde está. ¿Te dejaron solo?
So this child just walks up to border agents sobbing. Again, he was traveling in a group without his family. He explains they left him behind while heading to the border, and crying, he asks the agents, where else would he go if he doesn't go with them? This is a sad new milestone that we're seeing. 19,000 children are in U.S. custody. Each of them, just like that little boy, made it all the way to the border. Well, one boy last week, he was traveling with his father. The two swam across the Rio Grande River, but the father drowned, helping his son get across. And that is just another one of the tragic stories of these children arriving here in the U.S. unaccompanied. More delegations are announcing their trips here to the border to see this humanitarian challenge for themselves. An envoy to the Biden administration is set to return from his trip to the Northern Triangle tomorrow. Here's a live look at the border wall in Mission, Texas. Now, many environmental activists say they are glad this never should have been built, while law enforcement here say that the halted progress really creates problems of its own.
That means that now you're patrolling, or at least trying to patrol and enforce areas that had once been secure and now are wide open. And then you couple that with the unaccompanied children, the family units, and you can't forget that every day Border Patrol agents are still encountering criminal aliens.
Now, this is an example of one of those sections of the wall that is not finished. Now, a lot of divided opinions on what to do, but many people around this area just want questions about, will it get finished? Will it remain like this? Questions they're hoping they will get from the government. Bill, Dana.
Thank you, Alex.
Want to bring in former acting ICE Director Tom Homan, also a Fox News contributor. Tom, good morning to you. I want to show you the number that Dana and I were referring to a moment ago. Projected total unaccompanied minors crossing the border in this year, 184,000. Tom, you saw the video. What do you think when you see that?
Well, look, thank God the little boy's safe with the Border Patrol. Look, you know, that's why I fight so hard, Bill. And people always ask me, why do you get so emotional on TV and why do you yell at Congress when I testify? They haven't seen what I've seen in my 35 years. I've held many dying children. I found many dead children. I've talked to women who were raped over 20 times. A third of every woman that comes across, that puts themselves with the criminal cartels, a third of them make that trip, get sexually assaulted. I've done investigations where when a migrant couldn't pay a smuggling fee, he was tortured. They actually called his family up, tortured him while his family's on the phone to make him pay the smuggling fee. And they killed him if they didn't. So look, illegal immigration is not a victimless crime. You know, females get raped. I talked to a 9-year-old who was raped. I did a lot of investigation. I put a lot of alien smugglers and human traffickers in prison. My only regret, I couldn't put them all in prison. These cartels are ruthless. But the promises this Biden administration, the promises they have made about you can enter the country illegally, you won't be detained, you won't be deported, we're going to give you amnesty and free health care. You put yourself in a position where you're going to put the most vulnerable people, put themselves in harm's way to get here because they think they're going to be released. These policies of the Biden administration are not inhumane. They're not humane as they said it was. The only humanity I see on the border is what this video of these Border Patrol agents saving lives, over 4,000 lives saved last year. And I add this, you can hate President Trump or you can like him, I don't care. But you can't argue when illegal immigration was down 70–80% under his administration, how many women didn't get raped? How many children didn't die? How many millions of dollars do the cartels not make every day? So I think this administration, the Biden administration, needs to get back to some of these policies because these policies that Trump administration had saved lives.
Tom, there's another aspect of all of this, in addition to the children and the victims of illegal immigration and what the cartels are doing to them. And that is the possibility that when they say 100,000 getaways in a possible year could include terrorists. 2 from Yemen have been caught already. Don't know how many have not been caught. And Kevin McCarthy, the minority leader for the House, he said this last night on Hannity.
The border agents, they told me that they had caught people on the terrorist watch list. When I brought that up at the press conference, my Democratic colleagues weren't shocked by it. You know what they did? They called me a liar until we brought forth the answers. And it should not come as a surprise that the Democrats are troubled by this. They are trying to distract from this disaster because they created it.
When there is chaos in a situation, terrorists like to take advantage of it. They also like to take advantage during a transition from one administration to the next. Is that what's happening here?
Absolutely, great question. That's what makes this humanitarian crisis a national security crisis. Look, the Border Patrol's already said 40% of their manpower is no longer on the line. So if you're somebody in the world who wants to come here and do us harm and blow something up, it's almost impossible to get a plane ticket anymore because all the database checks are done when people are trying to get a plane ticket from the United States. It's almost impossible to get a visa anymore because all the database checks they do, DOD databases, and they look for any derogatory information, and the visa security program protects protects the issuance of a visa to somebody who has derogatory information, maybe related or known as suspected terrorists. So if you really want to come to the country, what's the best way to come here? You're going to come the same way 20 million others did, to the southwest border, when 40% of the border patrol is no longer on the line. The border is vulnerable. So like you said, Danny, you said it correctly. How many got through that we didn't catch? That's what scares me. Because there's over 1,000 gotaways every day. Border Patrol has over 1,000 gotaways based on sensor traffic they can't respond to, or drone traffic, or camera traffic. Over 1,000 gotaways. So if you want to come to this country to do us harm, now, the border is vulnerable right now because of the situation created by the Biden administration.
Thanks, Tom, for your input today. Tom Homan, a lot more to cover here. If you're on the no-fly list, you know it, right? If you're a terrorist, because you probably had tried to get on a plane already, and yet you, as we have seen, you can walk across the border if you can get there. Thank you, Tom. One final note here on this, Dana. There's talk now that they could plug the holes, quote unquote, in some of the border wall that was unfinished. Seems like a pretty good idea. You see some of that video from the aerial pictures there. Those gaps they're vulnerable right now.
I feel like if the Biden administration is thinking about reversing course on a bad decision, we should help them do it.